about to tell you a story, a true story, and in fact, that was relayed me only yesterday. Please do stay tuned to hear this very sad story. It all started here about 2 years ago. My boyfriend had a foreign friend here called Paul, a really nice German guy who was a fanatically bodybuilder to the extent that he actually looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger. 6'1" with muscles on muscles and muscles on the eyelid. A happy guy, always joyful, always smiling, always singing, and always pleasant to be around. A very popular guy with all. Yes, he had a few girlfriends until he thought he had found the right one. Him and his girlfriend moved in together, and he was blissfully happy. After he lived with his girlfriend for approximately a month, she asked for an allowance. At this stage, he was paying all the bills, the rent, the electric, the water, the internet, the food, and the odd holiday every month to a little resort on another island. Life was good, but he was surprised when out of the blue she asked him for an allowance. Now, Paul was only 47 years old. He had no he had not yet retired and had come here to stay for hopefully 5 years on his savings before having to return to do some work, more work as a drafts person in Germany. So it came as a bit of a surprise to him that his new girlfriend was asking him for 20,000 pesos a month for her spends. My boyfriend and Paul were very close, so Paul asked my boyfriend what he thought of the idea of supporting her to the sum of 20,000 pesos a month. My boyfriend, who's been here many years and has a lot of experience, told him that amounted to almost 2 months' salary here, and that in his opinion, he would decline giving her that amount. And if pushed, should only give her 3 to 5,000 pesos a month. And as Paul was providing everything, including holidays and clothes, he felt it was a bit of a cheek of her to ask that amount and that he should think seriously about doing it. Paul agreed and said he would give it some thought. But at that time, my boyfriend told me that Paul was too nice, too soft, and wore his heart on his sleeve. For the next 18 months, everything went well, and he seemed blissfully happy. All was going good with his girlfriend. He was using the gym 3 or 4 times a week, and he was still a happy, good, lucky guy. Another friend of my boyfriend then informed him that Paul was now riddled with cancer, bedridden, and suffering badly. My boyfriend was very shocked that such a fit guy would be struck down at young age with such a terrible curse. Without a second thought, he jumped in his car and went up to see Paul. When he got out of the car, he said you could hear screaming from the house. He went and knocked on the door. No answer. He tried the door. It was unlocked, so he let himself in only to find Paul, a shadow of his former self, lying on the sofa, biting on a wooden spoon, screaming out in agony, and had lost 2/3 of his body weight from a month before. The first words that Paul spoke to my boyfriend was, "Get a knife from the kitchen and end my life, or smother me with a pillow. I need to be out of this pain." My boyfriend tried to smile and say it can't be that bad. Whereupon Paul replied, "Imagine your worst headache. Imagine your worst toothache. Multiply that by 10. And then imagine that from the tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes, your bones felt on fire." The pain was unbearable. He was still screaming and crying. My boyfriend asked him, "Where is your girlfriend?" He said, "She left last month when she realized I had no more money to give her support." Unfortunately, I discovered the price of morphine here in the Philippines to ease the pain was very expensive indeed. My boyfriend had to hold back the tears, try to comfort him a little, and as he was leaving, Paul screamed out, "Why did I not heed your advice? If I had, I probably would have had enough to let me die with dignity and in no pain." When my boyfriend returned home, his other foreigner friend called and asked how Paul was doing. My boyfriend replied, "Terrible. We've got to do something to ease that pain." His friend agreed, and they agreed to go to the doctor the next day. "We will pay for the doctor to go out to see Paul and get him on at least a month's supply of morphine to give him some dignity, to give him some relief from the pain, and whatever it costs, they would split the bill between them to help a good friend here that was now in desperate need." They agreed to meet the next day and go down to Cebu and sort this out for Paul. The following day, they were about to leave when the phone rang with a call saying that sadly Paul had passed away in the night. It broke my boyfriend's heart, thinking how Paul had suffered alone and in terrible pain. He asked me to share this terrible story to my subscribers and anybody else who wanted to listen, and said yes. The Philippines is a tremendous place with beautiful women. The cost of living is cheaper, and you can make a wonderful life here. And whilst it's easy to find any woman, it is harder to find the right woman, even if it takes a little more time to find the right one. There are plenty of good women here. Just think and choose carefully. He always advocates, don't spoil your Filipina with money. It will be your own undoing. As I said, he loves the Philippines. But he said there's comes a point where you have to be strong, and sometimes you have to say no because you come first. You're alone in this country. At the end of the day, without family around you, only your girlfriend or your wife. There are hidden private medical cost here that can cripple you. He said, come here, enjoy your twilight years, find yourself a great woman, but keep your hand in control at all times of your wallet. When you're out here, no one knows what's around the corner. And, of course, as you get older, you are more prone to ailments. Please, do bear that in mind. If you're here already or thinking of coming here, I wish you all the best. I truly hope you find true happiness and a really good Filipina. Please don't let this story put you off. It's just to make you aware, as well as that choose the place where you're going to live carefully, that you are close to medical aid. Until next time, it's me, Jean, the Candid Filipina. Bye for now.